And now it's time for the Guest Expert Series.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. I am Pearl Sharenza, and I am the owner of Women's Successful Living, where we empower you to put yourself first without guilt and become the hero of your life. And I'm excited because I have the honor to introduce somebody who's made a huge difference in my business over the last, really, I think right around COVID hit is when we really started our class that I got to take with her. And it's made a big difference in my business. Andrea went to my retreat. She got to see some of the results of what I learned at the retreat as well. So I'm excited that she's going to come on and share some information that's going to benefit all of us. And so let me just tell you a little bit about Meliss. Her name is Meliss Jakovich. I think I said that right. If I don't, Meliss, you'll have to fix me on that one. But she's also known in the industry as the lead generation genie. She's an online marketing strategist. She's a Facebook ad expert, the founder of Meliss Marketing. She's author and expert and host of Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. She helps coaches like myself and healers add 10K to their months and scale their business in 90 days or less. She loves helping them end the feast and famine cycle and fill their one-to-one calendar and group programs so they can make an impact in the lives of others and abundance and freedom in their own. She's also a single mom to 2 amazing boys. Welcome to the club. Thanks, Meliss. We're excited to have you come on in.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. My last name is Jakubovic. I know it's hard. And my first name is Meliss. There is no A at the end. So, excuse me. I'm excited to be here and talk to you guys about basically online marketing strategy, but we're going to go really deep into one piece of that puzzle. Pearl, we've actually been working together a full year this month, but you did join my Business Accelerator in April. So I've known you for a while, and it's exciting to see your growth and watch you come full circle. So very excited to be here today. So thanks for having me. Do you want me to just hop right into it?
Yep, hop right in. I'll give you a little thumbs up when time's counting down with like 10 minutes left.
All right. How much time do we have in total?
About 40 minutes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about running your business online virtually. It is a little bit different than running your business offline, face to face. And since COVID, so many entrepreneurs have shifted to run their business either 100% virtually or at least 50% virtually. And so it's really important that you understand all the components that makes this machine run. It's not as hard as some people might think it is. It's just about having strategic action to go along with it. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So I believe there are 4 main systems that you need to successfully bring in quality leads to your digital door. And that is all through social media marketing. The first one is content. Content is what the world sees that you put out there to show people what it is that you do, who you are, your brand. If you're building a personal brand, that has to do with you as a person as well. But content is basically everything you create that you're putting out. It's forward facing, and everyone can read it or listen to it or watch it and absorb the information that you have. So that's the first system. The second system is your lead magnet. Your lead magnet is something that you can give away for free that shows about you, your brand, your expertise. It gets your prospects' toes wet. They get a feel for how you teach or what you do, the transformation that you create for them. And they get that a free gift in exchange for an email address and a name that they give you. So content and lead magnets. And then the third thing is your sales funnel. Your sales funnel is a series of landing pages that helps the customer, guide them through a customer journey. It helps them build a relationship. You're nurturing them to the next level of your service. A lot of this is done on automation, so nobody falls through the cracks. Every single person that comes to you gets the same amazing experience from A to Z. And then that journey is created based on the actions that they're taking or the actions that they're not taking. And that's done all through sales funnels. And then the fourth system is Facebook ads. Now you can do this all organically, and I do teach that to my students, how to reach people organically. And then you want to move into Facebook ads eventually, which is how you amplify your reach. So this is what you're already doing organically on steroids. So if what you're doing organically sucks and you turn on Facebook ads, your Facebook ads are going to suck. But if what you're doing organically is amazing and you're getting lots of engagement and people really love it, and you turn on Facebook ads, you're going to get the same reactions, just amplified. So Facebook ads are for amplification. So these are the 4 systems. We have content, lead magnets, sales funnels, and Facebook ads. Each one of these is their own system on their own. Each one operates on their own. But when you put them all together, you have an amazing system and an amazing way to bring in leads on automation and just get a bunch of leads in the door, which is what you need. And then building that relationship along the way and moving the people that are a right fit into a sale. So each of these work on their own, similar to like your body. You have the muscular system, the digestive system, the reproductive system, the skeletal system. All of these are their own systems, but to be a living, breathing, healthy human being, all of these systems work well together. So that's kind of how I want you to envision your marketing. But because there's so many systems, and that's not even all of them, we're not going to be able to cover all that today. So for the scope of this call, we are going to talk about the first one, which is content. And content is really, really powerful because it is forward facing. So this is what I mean by forward facing. You post something, let's say on your social media, and everyone can see it. The back end is stuff you're doing that people can't see what you're doing. So content is really important because it's you putting your first impression forward. Like if people have never heard of you before and they go read your content, they're going to get a feel for who you are, what you believe in, who you serve, how you serve, the transformation that you create for people. And when you're in business, you are creating a transformation of some sort for people. So that could be if you're in weight loss or health industry, you're creating, maybe we're losing weight or we're gaining muscle. It could be something like insurance, even though most people don't think about running their business online for insurance. That could be a transformation of not sure what to do to being really solid with your ideas, and you've got your stuff insured and you feel really comfortable and confident that nothing will happen and you feel really protective. So no matter what your business is, I want you to think of it in a way of like creating a transformation, a pathway for your customer. And when you can do that through your content, you're golden. So let's talk about content specifically. We'll dive deep into this today. So the first thing that I want you to know is that content matters. And what I mean by that is you need to put out thoughtful content that speaks to your target market, content that speaks to the pains that your target is going through, content that tells a story about who you are and how you can help people and why we should listen to you and how you came to be the expert in your industry that you are and why you are the authority that needs to be giving us this information. So thoughtful content matters. The second thing is that consistency matters. Being consistent is so important running an online business. I'd say it's the most important thing. So if you're posting something and you're not getting engagement and then you throw up your hands and you're like, all right, it's not working, we're leaving it, whatever, then you're never going to get anywhere. But if you show up again and then you show up again and you show up again and again and again, eventually you're going to get a following of people. It does take time. This is a process, but consistency matters. It is easier to keep the momentum going than it is to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. But also more important than consistency for you is your frequency. So what I mean by that is you need to show up and you need to be consistent. But I know we all have busy lives. Some of us are running more than one business. Maybe we have kids, maybe we have elder parents, maybe we have a partner, and we've got a lot on our plate. So it's really hard to be consistent. So what I want you to do is think of a way to be consistent that works with your schedule. And that is the frequency. So if you could only post, let's say on Facebook 3 times a week, but you can show up confidently 3 times a week, consistently forever, then do it 3 times a week. Go out and do it. If you can show up every single day, once a day, then do that. If you can show up twice a day, then do that. But whichever one you pick, that frequency, make sure you can stick to it. so that the consistency matters, but make sure it fits in with your lifestyle. So number 2, consistency matters. Number 3 is that relationships matter. Relationships are really important. I keep saying it's the most important thing. Everything's the most important thing, but it's true. You have to build relationships with people. You are dealing with people who are potential customers, potential clients, people that want to get to know you. You want to build trust with them. You want them to like you. You want them to understand who you are as a person, the culture of your business, how you operate, and that all comes from building a really strong relationship. So what that means is you need to offer value. You need to be helpful. You need to serve people, and you let that be the driving force towards everything that you do. You give value, you help, you support, and then the money will flow. It's not we're building a relationship so we can get some money and we can get some clients, and that's the main goal and that's our agenda, because that's going to show up when you're trying to build a relationship. People are going to put up their wall and understand that you have an agenda, and it's going to feel a little icky. But if you lead with service and helping and just giving value, then you'll build a relationship. And if it's a good fit, they're going to go to you because they trust you, they know you, they like you, and they want to do business with you. So if you really focus on building the relationship, the money will flow. So number 1, content matters. Number 2, consistency matters. And number 3, relationships matter. All right, so let's talk about content specifically, what that means. Content is anything that you put out online. So this can be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, anything like that. It could also be newsletters, emails, blogs, podcasts, anything like that. So anything that you create that comes from your mind into some physical form in words or audio or visual in a video, and you put it out there for the world to see, that is your content. And content marketing is a really powerful tool because it lives on the internet forever. It does help with your SEO, your search engine optimization. It also indoctrinates your prospects into the thought process that you have, that you need them to believe before they can take that next step with you. So I want you to also think about how there are tons of people online, especially when you're running virtually. You have a business opportunity to reach everyone in the entire world. So that means people come from different walks of life, different political backgrounds, religious backgrounds, so many different things, and also different ways of learning. So it's important to take different pieces of content and use all of them to your advantage. Some people are visual learners. Some people learn better by listening. So you want to put out pieces of content that it's like a mixed bag so that you can touch everyone in a different way that speaks to them. And also you might have a strength. You might love writing content, but you hate showing up on video, or vice versa. Or you love doing a podcast because no one has to see you. They just get to hear you, but you can't sit down and write content. You stare at the blank screen forever. So you want to put that into consideration too. What is your best mode of content creation? And you want to use that a lot, but you also want to think about the content creation. In content creation mode, you want to think about your clients and what's the best way for them to digest this content. So if your target market are super busy, high level CEOs, and they literally have no time because they are just work, then asking them to read an ebook is not going to be a really good piece of content for them because there's no time. But a podcast would be a good piece of content for them because they can listen to it while they're washing dishes or driving into work or whatever it is. So you want to think about your target market, put yourself in their shoes as well. So when it comes to like figuring out what type of content you want to put out there. So a mixed bag of what you love to create and what they love to absorb. And there are different types of learners as well. So a blog, this is a lot of content that you can use again and again and again. If you have a blog, you are sitting on a gold mine of content because we can take your blog and turn it into 50 to 100 different pieces of content that you can use all over social media on several different platforms. So if you don't have a blog yet, I would suggest doing that. Creating a blog, it does help with your SEO. If you put it on your website and someone goes to your blog to read about, or goes to your website to read your blog, they're actually spending more time on your website. So that's going to help boost your SEO. I'm hearing some feedback. If everyone can please mute. And then you can take the blog and use it for other pieces of content, which we can talk a little bit about later. Video is amazing. Video is another piece of content. Everyone says video is king. They say if video is king, consistency is queen. And those two really do go well together. The thing is with video is the social media platforms push video out into other people's news feeds. So they want people to watch video on their platform, which means if you show up and do video, you're going to be rewarded by the algorithm and more people are going to see it. So you definitely want to use video. Cisco said that by 2021, 80% of content that will be put out is video content. It's interesting. If you go to people's blogs, like for recipes, back in the day, it was a blog and here's a printable recipe. But if you look now at the really big bloggers, they're going to have a video that's 30 seconds to 3 minutes long showing you how to do the recipe. And the recipe card is like at the very, very, very bottom of the blog. They don't focus on that. They're focusing on the video. Now, if you're building a personal brand and you do video, that can mean like Facebook Lives. That can mean pre-recording a video and uploading it. It could mean streaming from Zoom or some other streaming software. But if you're building a personal brand, this helps you connect and build that relationship more than any other piece of content, because you feel like you're seeing the person, you see their facial expressions, you see if they talk with their hands, you get a feel for them, and that instantly builds a relationship. And now more than ever with COVID, when we're struggling for that connection and that together feeling, you just want to see someone on video so it feels like you're close to somebody. So video is really, really powerful. Podcast is another one. Who here has a podcast? Does anyone here have, wait, I can't see you guys. Anyone have a podcast? Not yet.
Meliss.
You do? Yay. If you don't have a podcast yet, that's okay. Maybe it's something you want to think about. You don't need to have one, but if you do have a podcast, it's a great way to build relationships with people, especially if you have the method where you're interviewing people. It's a great way to build your network, because if you have the type of podcast where you interview people, you are now sharing each other's network. I have a podcast. We just recorded our 250th episode. It's just me. I come in with marketing tips and I give you tips, and it's just me. I've only interviewed on the 100th podcast and the 200th podcast. But the benefit to doing that type of podcast is you can create content whenever you want to. Like, I record a month's worth of podcasts, one weekend a month, like whatever time of day is convenient to me. And I can talk about the things that my audience is struggling with, questions that I've gotten in emails, people who have commented on posts of mine, people who are in my Facebook group who answer polls. Those are the topics for my podcasts. You can do a blog as well. You can go live on those as well. So getting the topics, basing them off of what your audience really wants to learn, is the best content that you can create. Another piece of content is just like a post with a caption, like posting online. You have a picture and you write some words. That's a great piece of content as well. I would recommend you always use a picture, at least, if not a video, with the exception of on Facebook, where you can have like the colored background. If you only have 2 sentences, then I would use the colored background. But just words with no color backgrounds and no image and no video is not going to be shown to a lot of people, and you're not going to get the engagement that you're trying to get. Another amazing piece of content is testimonials. This is social proof. So if you have a past client who has something amazing to say about you, screenshot it. Or if you want to interview people, after Pearl went through my program, I asked her if we could get on a call and I can interview her. And so that's a great way to show prospective clients what current clients think about your service. And if you've ever gone to a restaurant and wanted to try out a new restaurant, you've probably gone on Yelp or Google and looked at how many stars they get for their reviews and made your decision off that. If you're like, oh, let's try this new restaurant, and you look it up and it has 1 or 2 star reviews, you're probably like, never mind, we're going to try a different restaurant. That's how powerful social proof is. So if you can post about that, and if you guys look at my Facebook page, you'll see that maybe once or twice a week, I'm sharing a screenshot of what someone said about my program or my service, because that's going to get people who are on the fence to be like, oh, wow, all these people say great things. This must be amazing. So that's a great piece of content. I know some people are a little hesitant to boast on themselves or to brag on themselves, but I don't want you to think about it that way. I want you to have a mindset shift here and realize that you are serving your prospects and your clients, and you want to help them. And if they really need your service and you can really help them, but the only thing that's stopping them is they don't know what everyone else is thinking, or they don't know if it's a good idea, and you post your social proof right there, and that's what gets them over the edge, you've actually helped move them towards the solution to their problem. All right. So I'm trying to talk fast because I've got a ton of information I want to share with you. So when it comes to creating content, some people get stuck on the how. Okay, well, I know what content is, Meliss, but how do I create content? So the way that we create content is by sitting down. I like to time block. So I turn my phone on for a 2-hour time block. Like I set an alarm, I put it face down. I shut off all of my social media platforms. I do not answer the phone. I do not get up and go to eat or go to the bathroom. And I say, I am sitting down for these 2 hours and I am creating content. And for me, that is the best way to get content out. Now, have I saved up information throughout the weeks? Yes. If someone asks a question in my group or in my world, in my social media world, I write it down and I put it in a folder and I keep it to the side for safekeeping so that when I do my 2 hours of we are writing content, I can pull that out and use that. You can repurpose your content. If you ever look at my personal profile page on Facebook, you will see that I go live once a week. And a few days later, you will see the written version of what I went live on. When I go live, I have a few bullet points I pull up and then I just talk freely. Then I go back to the video. I start taking notes on what I said, and then I put emojis in it and boom, I have a post. It's the same thing. You could post it somewhere as a blog. You can go on LinkedIn and post it as an article. You can pull out little quotes that, you said something profound or some aha moments, turn it into a beautiful Canva image, put on your business page, put in your groups. So going live and having those blogs are like the gold mine of content that you can later use and repurpose in different places in different ways. So you have to be active in order for people to know that you're open for business, whether you run your business on your business page or on your personal page or in a Facebook group, or you haven't done any of that yet. That's okay. Don't get overwhelmed with this conversation. Use it as a way to push you to doing a new thing, adding a new cool thing to your business that's truly going to help you. So you want to be active and you want to be consistent and you want to post frequently and you want to post content that speaks to your target market. So I'm not talking about cat memes and I'm not talking about anything political or anything religious unless either of those things have to do with your business specifically. I would stay away from that, especially if you're building a personal brand, because your personal reputation becomes the reputation and culture of the business. So if you're posting political and religious things and it has nothing to do with your business, you are deterring a flow of leads to come to your door. Now, I will say that you do want to be really clear on who your target market is before you create any content, because you want to speak so directly to your target market in the language that they need to hear it in, that they believe you are speaking to them. So when you're writing your content, I want you to think about writing content to one person, not the whole audience, but like Jessica or Greg. Those are my avatars, Jessica and Greg. So I say, what does Jessica need to hear today? And that's what I'm writing about in my content. And then whoever Jessica is in my world of followers, I want them to read my content and go, oh my gosh, is she speaking to me? What? How does she know? How is she in my head? How does she know that's what I'm thinking? And that only happens when you get really clear on who your target market is. Now, I know a lot of people help a lot of different people, but you got to niche down. You really got to. So if you are a health coach and you say, but my service can really help everyone, kids, adults, the elderly, anyone who's overweight, anyone who's trying to get lean and it doesn't have any weight to lose, like literally all walks of life, that might be true. But you, as the service provider, should pick one target to go after. And somebody else in your industry who does the same exact thing as you can pick a totally different target to go after. So yes, your service and product might be able to help 10 different types of people. But if you're writing content to 10 different types of people, nobody will believe that you are speaking directly to them. And that opportunity for connection and relationship building will not be there. So think of the one type of person that you want to speak to, that you can help, and start talking about how you're solving problems. And don't give it all away. I'm not talking about in your pieces of content, you're like, and this is how I do it, A, B, C, D. I want you to talk about the feelings that they're exploring and that they're experiencing, the feelings of maybe frustration or overwhelm, or the struggles that they're going through, or maybe it's sadness, or whatever it is. Your content should be able to encourage them to take the next step forward. And that might require a mindset shift, which is why your content should, like I said, indoctrinate them into your belief system, so that before they get on a call with you or book to work with you, they already understand your belief system and they're on board with it. So you don't have to spend your sales call, let's say, or a discovery call, trying to convince them that your service is good. They already know that they need your service. The time you spend together on the call is for you to just figure out, like, what is it you wanted to ask me? What do you need to know? Let's see if we can take you to where you need to go. They already believe in the process of your service and that transformation that you're going to provide. Some other great pieces of content you can create is behind the scenes. This is where you're showing people like what it's like to run a business, or what it's like to do what you do. So I did this on my page not too long ago. I was talking about running Facebook groups, and I took a picture from my laptop. I used my phone to take like a selfie, not really selfie, but to take a picture of my laptop showing the screen of my group. So it's like behind the scenes. Or I've posted a picture of a mound of clean laundry that has yet to be folded, and I took a picture of it and I posted online. I go, who can relate? I haven't had time this week to fold my laundry. You become very relatable. You become authentic. And then it's not just business, business, business. It's, oh, she's a real person. And we have that in common. I have dirty dishes in my sink too. So don't be scared to show the real side of you, because that is where the connection comes from. You want to have this me too feeling where it's like, oh yeah, me too. Because then you instantly have someone. I'm a folk dancer. I'm a single mom of 2 boys. I help my dad. I take care of my dad. He's ill. I have a dog. I have a cat. I'm very holistic. I love salt lamps and crystals and all these things. And so you can make a list of 10 things. Like I just told you about 8 things about me. Make a list of 10 things about yourself that make you you, what makes you special, and share those with others. And you will find that everyone who's following you or that you are attracting has at least one of those things in common with you. And it's really cool because literally all of my clients, I feel like I can go be really good friends with and go have coffee with or out to dinner with, because I feel so connected to them, because we share things and we have things in common. And that's where the relationship started. And that's how we began to build trust with one another. So make a list maybe of 5 to 10 things that make you special, and then share those things. I post pictures of me and my dog all the time. I used to post pictures of me and my kids, but they're teenagers and they don't let me do it. But you can talk about that. I have grouchy teenagers. Who else has grouchy teenagers? So whatever that me too thing is, that's what you want to start posting about. You can document the process as well. So if it's, I always use health coaching as an example, but if it's like a weight loss journey and you have pictures of people along the way, or I do have a client who's in insurance right now, and she's buying her own house. And so we actually spoke about this today, that she should document the process of her buying the house as far as from the insurance angle. Like, okay, when do you call the insurance agent? What is the next thing that you ask them to insure? What questions do you have? And just document her process so that when she goes to her clients, she can say, here's a checklist of what I did, or here's a video of how that looked. So if you're going through something, maybe you're just starting out and this is like, oh, way too overwhelming, then the best thing you could do is just document what you're doing now, because you can use that later to help other people who are going through the same journey that you're going through. What else? Oh, like before and after pictures. That's kind of like documenting the process. If you run a skincare line, you can have before we use the skincare and after we use the skincare. Any of that type of stuff. Or staging homes. That's another good one. Like, this is the crappy furniture before, and wow, this is how it looks after. Okay. You want to be careful though with that, I should say. When you're doing before and afters on your personal page, it's fine. In your group, it's fine. On your website, it's fine. But if you're going to run Facebook ads, it's not fine. There's this thing in Facebook ads where you don't want to make any claims. So you don't want to have like, this is what I look like before and this is what I look like after, and run an ad, because Facebook won't let that run. They'll say you're claiming everyone's going to look like that after. So just a little tidbit right there. So going live. I know that a lot of people I speak to have either never gone live before or have gone live and felt incredibly uncomfortable and vulnerable, or some people are amazing at going live, which is great. I'm going to encourage you to go live no matter where you are on that scale. If it makes you feel like you're going to throw up, you still should do it, because going live is the best thing you can do right now for your business on social media. If you're scared, that's okay. So I wanted to give you a few little tips about that. So in case no one shows up, you don't freak out. In case lots of people show up, you don't freak out. So the first thing you could do is you can answer questions from the audience, assuming you have people there listening. Ask them, hey, put some questions in the comments and I will answer them. Now there's no pressure on you, right? You're already the expert in your industry. You're already the authority. You already know kind of the answers to anything anyone can ask, or you could say, I don't actually know, I'll go find out. And so when people ask questions, you just can go off the top of your head with an answer because you already know your industry really well. Also, FAQs, things that you've heard about so often, questions that just always come up, always come up. That's a perfect indicator that you need to go create something about that, whether it's a post or Facebook Live or even like a digital download, or a workbook, something like that. So any FAQs you have, you can go live on that. You can go live doing meal prep. You can go live working out a process. I've seen people work out online. I've seen people put on makeup online. There's so many different things that you can do. Also, anything that a client has said, you can turn that into a video. Like I said, we can do an interview. Or you can just talk about the story of what's happened before. You just want to make sure you have good lighting and good sound. It doesn't have to be amazing professional sound or professional lighting, but you don't want to sit with the window behind you because you're going to have just a big shadow on your face and no one will hear you. And you don't want to have like this loud buzzing in your computer where you're sounding like you're in a tunnel or really far away. So that way, if it has good sound and good lighting, people will listen. Now, if nobody shows up for your live, that's okay, because it is a replay, right? It's still there and people can still see it. So you can even encourage engagement and say, put hashtag live if you're live, or hashtag replay in the comments if you're watching the replay. And don't get scared if no one shows up, because it's still going to be there. So just keep on going like you're recording a video, and it's okay to have notes. I have notes everywhere all the time, just notes and notes and notes. So just write it down, be natural. It's okay. Sometimes I don't even brush my hair for the live. And you know what? Sometimes in my group, I'd come straight from the shower to the live and my hair is just like this wet mess. And I'm like, hi guys, welcome to Wednesday morning where I have wet hair like every week. And it just makes you relatable. So it's okay. No one here is expecting you to be perfect, and there is no such thing as perfect. And sometimes if you are really tip top notch, people are like, oh, is she even real? Like they don't connect with that. They connect with the disheveled version of ourselves, right? So use that to your advantage. All right, you can repurpose your content. We did talk about this a little bit, but you can do things like if you had a slide deck for a presentation, you can turn that into an infographic and use that later. If you had a video, you can transcribe it into a blog. If you have a blog, you can take notes and go live on it, things like that. If you have a big video, like a 15-minute video, you can cut 30-second clips out of that and use them as teasers on your Instagram or on YouTube and get people to cross visit you on cross platforms. Content batching is a really strategic way to do your content. And that is where you categorize your content, like blog posts, questions, tips and tricks, inspiration, testimonials. And then instead of going, I need to write all this content, you just pick one category and you write a lot of content in that category that can stretch over time. So if, let's say, you wanted to do a blog once a week, you would sit down and you'd write 4 blogs, and now you have the whole month done for your blogs. That's what I mean by content batching. All right. Are there any questions here? I want to save time for questions before I just like spew out so much information. Does anyone have any questions?
So Melissa, I'll read some of the things that I'm going to share, and I shared this with Andrea asked in the group about repurposing. So today on my Instagram, I repurpose a video, and I've used that video, like I've used it in presentations. It's about my retreat. So it's like a video about the retreat, play the music, but I've done it in presentations. I've done it at the retreat. I've done it just on Facebook posts or just sharing it. So today I made a Canva post, but use video option, and I put it in a video option. So Andrea was asking about that, like how do you do that? And I have done things like you said about the blog, like redoing my blog. I didn't think about my slide decks for my presentation, so I'm going to definitely do that. I love that. But Andrea was asking um, about podcasting. She does podcast style interviews in our group, but she never thought about having her own YouTube. And so she was asking, preferred video over audio only, and how do you repurpose live videos, or if it's even possible?
Oh, it's absolutely possible. And I use it all the time. So when I go live on my personal page, I turn those into podcast episodes. And then I also download them onto my computer and then upload them onto my YouTube channel. So you don't have to be on every single platform. In fact, it's better for you to have a really strong brand on one platform than to have a really watered down brand across all platforms. But if you're going to be consistent on all these platforms and you want to use all the platforms, then you can definitely use video everywhere. So if I go live on Facebook, I might take a 30-second snippet of it, put some words at the top and the bottom, and put that on Instagram stories as like a teaser. Come over to Facebook and watch. Then I'll download it. I'll edit it with my intro and my outro, and I'll turn that into a podcast episode. Then I upload it onto YouTube, so it's there as well. So basically, wherever you are, you see me and you get the same piece of content. And then I'll write out like a transcript to the blog, to the video, and turn it into a blog. So you can repurpose that everywhere.
But is it complicated? I mean, like when I've gone live, I've either just gone live or I've gone through live stream, StreamYard.
I use StreamYard too.
Then to then take that clip and use it on Instagram or use it on another platform. How do you do that? Is that complicated?
It's not complicated at all. So no matter which streaming software you use, it doesn't matter because you're going to be downloading it from Facebook directly. So there's 3 dots at the top of the video. As long as you own the video and it's your video and you're the admin or it's your page, you click the 3 dots and then you download video. When you are done with your Facebook Live, you might have to wait 2 to 5 minutes for that option to appear so that the whole thing processes, depending on how long the video is. And then you hit the 3 dots, you download the video, and you save it onto your hard drive on your computer. Now you can upload it wherever you want. Instagram is going to give you like a 30-second limit though, so you will have to cut it. But YouTube doesn't have a limit, so you can post it wherever you want.
Okay.
So I like what you said about podcasting because I podcast, I do interview style. So every Saturday, I've been blessed that I'm actually podcasting with a national radio broadcaster this is something I haven't told Meliss. So he's out of Philadelphia. And so every Saturday he brings us guests. So like I've interviewed Rosa Parks' cousin. I've interviewed the first the first girl to get kissed in the first episode of The Bachelor. And she talked about her story. And last week I got to interview a Real Housewives of Dallas star. So,
Cool.
but like you said, Meliss, they're all leading to other things. Like they're leading me to them to possibly be a speaker at a retreat. Or now we're talking about doing a West Coast retreat because of all the connections we're making.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about making the connections. And then also they bring their own list. So if you have a similar target market or shared target market and you want to get in on those podcasts because they want your list, you want their list, and now you've shared the wealth
Right.
and it's valuable for the people on the list.
Right. So Kathy was asking, and this is a great question, I think, is how long do you recommend the podcast or videos be? I know, Kathy, we started doing an hour and then we said we want to break ours down to half-hour episodes. But what are your thoughts, Meliss, on that?
When it comes to podcasts, it really depends on your format. So my format is I talk to myself, the solo podcast format, and my podcast episodes are between 5 and 20 minutes long with an average of about 12 minutes. When I go live On Facebook, it's usually about 12 to 15 minutes. When I go live in a really big group, I'm in a group with over 400,000 people. I go live for 30 minutes, but that's because I want to be live for a long time, so enough people have time to see me and keep coming back. When you're doing the interview style podcasts, they're usually about 45 minutes to an hour. So it really doesn't matter. I just wouldn't do like a live for 3 minutes because it's not enough time for everyone to get the notification and come on. And by the time they're on, you're done. So I'd say about 15 minutes. Which actually goes much faster than you think it will. Like if you only have 3 points to cover and you do an introduction and hello and hashtag this and that, and then you go into your points and then you ask questions, 15 minutes goes by really fast.
And I'll put out to the group if anybody does the, like, so for our podcast we do on Saturday, my son actually edits our podcast and he puts our intro and outro on there. So he does it really inexpensive if anybody wants any help, but we were having struggles doing our intro and outro. So we actually went to Fiverr and had somebody help us do it on Fiverr. It came out really nice. So there's different avenues, you guys, that you can access those too. But so Meliss, with regards to like having a channel, like a YouTube channel, should it be tied, like, of course, tie it to your business, but it should be called something separate from like your business name, or what are your thoughts?
So I don't think you can have like a URL, a custom URL to YouTube until you have 100,000 subscribers. So it really doesn't matter. I just call mine Meliss Marketing, which is the name of my company. And then I would just keep it really consistent. So if you're running more than one business, you really need to decide which business you're going to show up with online. Because if you have more than one business that you're sharing information on, you're going to confuse your audience, and a confused buyer doesn't buy. So just pick one and then just go full force with it.
So I have a landing page called WSL TV. So I can just tie that to my website, right? And just do it that way as well.
Yep.
Okay. Kathy has a question. Is there a list that can be provided to post our videos / pre-recorded podcasts to? She's never done it.
A list of places to put it?
She's typing. Kathy, you can unmute yourself if you want.
Okay.
Hi, Kathy.
So hi. I've actually never posted any videos yet or done any podcasts, and I'm hearing all these different platforms that you do them. So I was wondering if there was a list of available, because some of these I've never even heard of, and I would love to check them out and get on there and just put myself out there.
That's awesome that you have the drive to do that and the desire to do that. I think the easiest thing to do is to start with video, because you don't need any extra tech. You don't need a team. You don't need to know anything. You just literally go live on Facebook and you have video, or on Zoom. If you have the free pay or the free account, you can go, I think, for up to 45 minutes on video. So I would just start there. And then if you wanted to get into podcasting, I would join a few podcasting groups on Facebook, because there are thousands of different softwares and tools and where you go. And then you'll get a feel in there. You can ask in there and you'll get a bunch of recommendations for what people love to use. But I edit my podcasts in Audacity, and Audacity is a free program.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions?
Awesome.
All right. So Meliss, this is my friend Shari. She joined us in the room.
Hi, Meliss.
Yeah, there's no way.
You're awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad you made it.
So you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and anything upcoming you have that we should be checking out?
Sure. I have so much stuff going on. Well, if you guys want to hang out with me some more, you can join my marketing group. It's a free community online at magneticmarketingmastermind.com. Totally free. Just hop in there. I guess, Pearl, will you give everyone the links? magneticmarketingmastermind.com. If you want to learn more about the strategy behind your content, I actually have a toolkit. The price is going up in the middle of November, but it has over $3,000 of tools in there, and it's only $27. And you can go to abundantstrategy.com to get that. And it's a huge toolkit with all of my best strategic ways to be visible online and get your content to convert into clients. So abundancestrategy.com. And then I do have a free 5-day challenge group that is going to be starting on November 9th. And it's free in Facebook. And it's about getting clients from your virtual business. And it's not just about content. We go into a lot of stuff. It's actually the precursor to the program that Pearl was a part of. So that is called Thanks for the Clients Challenge Group. And you can register for free at thanksfortheclients.com. It's a lot of stuff. So
Yes, I was trying to type it all. So I'll have Meliss also send it to me in Facebook Messenger, and I'll copy and paste it all into our group as well.
Yeah, and if you actually want to listen to the podcast too, marketingtipswithmeliss.com, and then there's just a wealth of free content there. So,
but I will say, I will tell you, I didn't realize it's been a year, Meliss, that we've been together, but I started out, like planning out strategy, and it was like, I think last Christmas is when I started doing that. And then I took the mastermind class, and it was so impactful. That's where some of you, even like Andrea knows, I have my power hour, I call it. And so my phone goes down. Meliss taught me that and what to do with that. So I use that time. And that's why I tell everybody, if I don't respond to you and you need me to respond, then text me and I'll know that it's really important. But, I have my times I check, in the morning and then in the evening before I head off to bed. So I'm really, blocking that time out for that. And because of the class she took, I am excited to say that my last retreat, everybody is coming back, right, Andrea and Shari?
Yay.
Everybody, I had 15, it's almost 15 in attendance. Everybody's coming back. I'm really excited. So next year's retreat will be 30 to 35 people in attendance, and we're already starting to sell out on that. But on the top of that, it really made me understand and hone into my avatar and who, my Shiro is, that I like to call her. So I'm excited. Our group is growing a lot. So
that's amazing. That is so much growth, so different from when we first started working together. Is like a huge shift. So it's very exciting that you not only sold out, but now are going to double it. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
It's so cool. And then the last thing I want to say is that because of the strategies that she's taught me in other ways, that you have to take our mastermind class to learn. I won't give those away, but because of those strategies, I've just brought on 2 new business partners from Canada.
Yay!
So they're not even here with me. So I would highly encourage you to start out, the freebie one that she's doing, and then learn a lot more of what she has upcoming, because I think you guys will definitely see the great
You're talking
benefit.
about my challenge group. Thanks for the clients.
Yep. Thanks for the clients. I'd start out there for sure.
Yeah, that's November 9th to 13th, but you can register now and get in the group now. And we're already starting to get excited engagement in there and everything. So
yeah. And the really cool thing is with the mastermind group, I connected with the ladies that took it. So each week, 2 of us get together and we have an accountability with each other for 2 hours. So we never stopped the 2 hours that we did that mastermind group with Meliss. We continued it. We never changed, put anything else on our calendar. We just continue to work on our business together as an accountability group for 2 hours. So, yeah. So anyways,
I'm all about the accountability. I pair everyone up with an accountability partner because I think it's so important for your growth.
It really is. So, well, I'm excited. Does anybody else have any questions before I let Meliss go? Well, I guess should we, Andrea, do introductions for Kathy and then yourself, and then we can have Shari. You're on mute, Meliss. You're on mute, Andrea.
Yes, if anybody wants to stay for a little bit of networking, we can stay a few more minutes, like up to 15 more minutes. Usually our meetings are like an hour and 15. But if anybody has to leave, then we totally understand. So
I have to leave. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me, and I hope you guys got some good value out of this. And if you want to continue the conversation or follow me on any of my platforms, I put some links in there, and I'd be happy to have you guys stick around and we can build our relationships together.
Thanks, Meliss.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.